Hello friends, welcome to Nigira Techies. This is our React JS Authentication series part 3. So part of this video, let me explain this role-based authentication using JSON Server REST API, and also we can handle add, edit, delete, view access based on the role permission. And this is the continuation of my last video. In my previous videos, I have explained the functionality of login implementation using the same JSON Server REST API. Now let me go to my application. So we have this registration screen and also the login screen. Okay. Now let me go to my db.json file. So actually this is for the JSON server. So if you noted here, I'm having one user array. So there is having these two objects. That means I'm having two users. So in this field, I don't see any field like a role. So let me include one field role. Okay. So we can provide some static value. The first one I'm providing as the admin. And the second one, I'm going to provide user. Okay. So these are the two roles. And then I'm going to create one more object for role-based access. So here I'm going to create my first object, the role, admin, and menu, customer. Okay. And then permission, have add. For the admin user, I'm going to give true. Okay. The similar way, I'm going to include have edit and also have delete. Okay. So this is for one of the menu. The similar way we can include multiple menus also for the same admin user. And the same way I'm going to create the record for the role of user. So the user have the add access and also edit access. The delete permission I'm going to remove. Okay. And finally I'm going to include one more role. It is used for our testing purpose. So this user have the access for only view. Okay. So let me mark everything into false. Okay, our data is fine. Now let me take this URL, the role access. Okay, it will return all the records. So I am going to get the record for the particular user role. Okay. Role is admin. So currently I'm having only one menu. So that's what it's coming like this. So in case if I'm added one more menu for the same role, maybe the menu I can give like supplier. Okay. See, it is returning the two records. So now I'm going to pass one more parameter, the menu. Okay. Customer. So now our API is ready. So the thing is we are passing two input. The first one is role and the second one is the menu. So we are checking in our table. So instead of the table, we are having this db.json file. So once we have the records, it will return. So there we can identify, okay, we have this add access and edit and remove access. Okay. So in case if I'm passing some other menu, it won't return any data. Okay. So in the API point of view, we are good. Now let me check my login. Admin user and admin. Login failed due to the fetch. So let me check this one. Yeah, understood. Actually, we implemented this login functionality using kind of .NET Core Web API. So let me switch into our JSON Server API, okay? The proceed login. I believe we are calling this one proceed login using API. So let me bind our JSON server method, okay? Then I hope it will be work, okay? So now we are in the home page. There we have some tables. So let me command everything. So currently it's not required, okay? Okay, this is fine. And the one more thing, the header section available in our home component. So better we can move this into our app component, okay? So then only we can reuse for all the pages. So let me create one new component here, app header.js, okay? So whatever code is there, let me move this into our app header component, okay? And then in our app component, inside the browser router, we can call this app header. That's it. So here I can see some error. We can resolve one by one. So the first one is link, and then we have to declare this display name. So let me get it from our home component. It's not required here. And then we can move this function also. So let me include this use AFI hook. And here we have to declare this use navigate also. Okay, the most of the exceptions are got resolved. So now I am going to include one more menu. So this is actually for our customer screen. So in this customer screen only, I am going to handle edit, delete, and add functionality based on the user role access. So customer, okay. Now let me create one new component also for this customer screen. And customer. And let me include this component into our routing section. Customer. Okay, this is fine. Okay, home customer. So if I'm clicking, so it is simply redirected into our customer page. So the design point of view, somewhat it's not fair. Okay, now it is somewhat fine. So we have this home and also this customer, right? And let me try to log out. And also currently I'm in the login page. So in this login page, I should not show this menu, okay? For that, what we supposed to do in our app header component, we have to get the current menu, okay? For that, we have to use the one more hook, use location. So that also comes from our React router DOM. First, we can include this into our console section. Okay, this is the path name, right? So we can take this one. If location dot path name equal to login. So in this case, we should not show our menu. Okay. So better, I'm going to declare one use state variable and show menu. So the initial value I'm going to provide as false. Okay. And if it is login, again it should be false. And the else scenario, we can set this into true. And this should be applicable for our register screen also. Okay, not even redirected into our register screen. Okay, let me verify this one. Okay, this function actually blocking. Okay, so what we supposed to do? So let me move this kind of code also in our else scenario. So only the exception for login and the register screen. Okay, so still the menu is showing. So because we have this variable, I'm not it mapped anywhere. So I'm going to have one more parent div. So let me format this one, and then we can apply this conditional template. Okay, this is done. See now the menu got removed. So if I'm trying to log in, admin user admin, why it is not showing? Okay, in this conditional template, we can use this location because every time the data change, we're supposed to update this one. Okay. Now let me log out once again. So see, I am currently in our login page, so the menu is not showing. So if I'm trying to log in, see the menu is showing. Okay. And again, if I'm trying to log out, now I am trying to access our home page, it won't allow. Now we completed our login registration with our complete authentication scenarios. So let me focus on our customer menu, then we can complete our role-based access. Okay. So let me log in once again. So now let me move on our customer screen. So in this customer screen, I'm going to load some list of customer information. And the functionality point of view, add, edit, delete. I'm not going to implement the function. So instead of that, I'm going to have one dummy function. So that should be accessed based on the user role permission only. Okay. For loading the customer, we should have the data. Okay. So now let me include some static data in our db.json file. So here already we have this user and also this role access. So after that, we can include one more array. So it should be customer. So let me duplicate and creating some new records. Okay, now our data is ready. So that means our AP also fine. customer. Okay, now what I'm going to do in our customer string, so let me declare one use state variable. So the initial value should be empty array. Okay, and then we can call our API. So we have our endpoint, and first I'm checking the response. If it is not equal to OK, then return false, and the else scenario we can return into JSON format. Okay, so whatever data is coming, we are just updating here. Okay, so basically I can move this section into our one of the function, that is better load customer. And we can use fi hook also. So I hope we have the data. So next, let me focus on the HTML side. So anyway, already we have installed this Bootstrap, so we can use some of the Bootstrap classes here. Okay, see the screen, it is somewhat fine. Okay, the full screen is not required means we can include this container class. Okay, and in this body section we can include our table. The first one is code, then name, then email. So we have only 3 fields. So finally we can have this action. For the time consuming only, I have added the limited columns. Okay, so in this table we can have this table and table. And here bg dark and the text white. Okay, see, now let me bind this body section. So let me take this cust list variable. So basically it is the array. I'm going to check the conditional variable first. So if we have the data, then only I'm going to bind it here. And then let me generate the for loop. For the for loop, we can use this map option. So instead that we can use this gdiv. So in this parent element, we have to include the key option. Okay, so here key is nothing but an ID. Okay, it should be in code. That's my mistake. See, the first column is coming. The same way, I'm going to include the next two columns also, okay? Our primary focus, it's all about the authentication. That's what I'm not spending much time here. So in this final TD, we can have the buttons, okay? One is for edit and another one is for the remove. This is our listing, okay? And then top of that, I'm going to include one button also, that is for the add. Okay, this is fine. And the next thing is I'm going to bind some dummy events. Handle add, the same way handle edit, then handle remove, okay? So we can declare the functions also, otherwise it will throw the error. So the same way, let me declare two more functions. So the next one is for edit and the final one is remove, okay? So if I'm clicking, see it's added, edited and removed. So these are the just a dummy function. Now for implementing this role-based access, we can call this API, okay? So let me create one more function, get user access. Same way we can call our API. The steps are again same. First I'm checking this response. If it is 200 response, fine. Otherwise, will return false. In the positive response, we can convert this into JSON. And the next section, so basically I will get an array only. So I'm just checking the length of array. If it is more than 0, basically I will get only one object in this array. So if it is the first scenario, I can declare one more object here. The first object, okay? And let me call this one also in our use F8 hook section. And the next thing is parameter, the role and this menu. So menu it is fine anyway. We are checking only the customer. I'm just passing. So the role should be an dynamic one. So let me get it from our local storage. User role. So let me check. I just added this username only after the login. Also, I'm adding this into our system storage. So what I'm going to do, let me include one more thing. Okay, user role, and in this response dot role. Now hopefully I will have this role information also. So once I'm having this one, let me get it from our session storage. First I'm checking not equal to null. If it is the positive scenario, we can get it from our storage. If it is null, I can assign this into empty. Okay. Now this is fine. And the next step is we have to declare some use state variable. Okay. Have edit change. So the default value should be false only. The similar way I'm going to declare three more variables. Okay, why this much of space? So the first one is edit, right? So next I'm going to provide view, and the third one is add, and the final one is remove. So let me format it. Here first let me take this view change function. So if we have the data only, I'm going to mark this into true. Okay. And the second one is have edit. For this one, I can assign it from our object. Okay. Have edit. The same way we can include for have add, have remove also. Okay. It should be edit change. The next one is add change, and the final one is remove change. So currently I am just explaining using only one menu. So in the real-time scenario, we may have a number of menus, right? So in this situation, what we supposed to do? So we can create one custom hook. So in this custom hook, we can move this function and everything. So wherever it is the functionality is required, we can just use the hook in our starting point itself. Okay. So anyway, let me complete this functionality. So next I'm checking this have view. If it is having the permission only, I'm going to load our customer. Else, I have to redirect into our home page. And also I'm going to say you don't have access for this particular page, right? And for the navigation, I'm going to use the use navigate hook. Okay. So it is just a declaration. Okay, this is fine. And the similar way, let me go to my dummy functions. Have add, the success message. So in this else situation, you are not having access for add. So let me apply for the next two dummy functions. Edit. Okay, this is fine. Now we can verify one by one. You are not authorized to access. Okay, let me log out and we can try from the starting itself. Admin user and admin. So let me go to my customer screen. Okay, it is showing some warning. We can verify. So let me include one more console here. Okay, the page load I'm getting is the false. That's what it is not loaded. So let me change the function. Okay. So let me have this function is here and other two piece of codes I'm going to include in our get user access function. Okay. And also this else scenario. So now let me refresh the screen once again. So if I'm trying to access this one customer menu, so I'm able to access. So I'm admin user. So it is added, then edited, then remove. So okay, remove it is saying you are not having access for remove. So let me verify this one. Okay, here the flag I added is the have delete. Now let me go to the screen once again. Okay, have delete. Let me refresh once again. See if I'm clicking this remove. Okay, removed. So the admin user have the complete access, right? So the next thing is we can take the user role of just a user. So it is having add and edit access. So that's our end user. Let me log out. See, so customer it's fine. Add, added, edit. Finally, this remove. Remove is saying you don't have access for remove. And the same API, if I am trying to change this edit also false. Okay, for the role of user. Okay, if I'm changing this into false. So if I'm clicking, it is saying edit also you don't have an access, remove also don't access. So then add only it's there, right? And the same way, if I'm changing this into false for adding also, edit blocked, then add is blocked, and remove also got blocked. Finally, I'm just removing this object. That means I don't have the access for the customer name. So now I'm going to refresh once again. See, you are not authorized to access, and it is simply redirected into our home page. Okay. Now let me revert it. See, now I am able to access this customer listing, right? Okay, in this way, we can handle our edit and role and remove functionality. So now we are almost in the end of the video. Still, if you have any doubts or clarification, please post in the comment box. And also, please don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thank you. Thanks for watching.